And that's why they told me anyone who clocked in even 1 minute of unauthorized overtime would be out of a proverbial job. Literally. And by anyone, they meant me. Dick Piston, hotel detective. So at 10 minutes to midnight, I'm always here in my office with my proverbial eyes glued to the literal clock. Because when that strikes 12, my Friday night nightmares become somebody else's Saturday morning problem. So, if my luck holds true...
Dick Piston, I need you!
Lady Luck, you can set your watch by her. I'm afraid I'm not the man you're looking for.
You're not Dick Piston?
No, I'm not helpful.
But you are hotel detective.
Well, for 9 more minutes I am, but there's not going to be a 10th. So if it's anything more time-consuming than a stuck pickle jar, there's really not much I can do at the top of the office.
But you have to help me. I'm the victim of a crime.
Well, unless that crime is unnecessary wetness, there's not much I can do in the time of the office.
It's not unnecessary wetness.
Are you sure? Because I have a blow dryer here somewhere.
Mr. Piston, please, you can't just turn your back on me.
Oh, in that outfit, no. For 8 more minutes I will, but that's really all the time we've got.
But will that be enough?
Depends on the crime. What's yours?
I think they call it... murder?
Oh, and you say you're the victim.
Yes, it happened just now in my hotel room.
You know what murder is, right?
It's the one where somebody kills someone, right?
Ah, that's the one.
Yay!
Oh boy. Right, I am going to take your case, but I'm also going to set this egg timer. Now, when this goes off, no matter what, case is submitted. This is understood.
Thank you enough, Mr. Piston.
Oh, coming here to town is thanks enough. All right, just take a seat and I just need to make a quick phone call.
But aren't you going to rush up to my room and examine the scene of the crime?
Ordinarily I would, but we don't have that kind of time. Hello, front desk, it's me, Dick Piston, hotel detective. Put me through to the kitchen.
What are you doing?
Ordering room service.
That speed up the investigation.
Not at all.
Then why are you doing it?
Because no man in his right mind would ever be alone in a room with a woman in a towel without at least a bottle of champagne and a half order of oysters on the way. I'll have the honeymoon special. Send it to my office pronto. And a box of condoms.
Oh, Mr. Piston, how can I ever repay you?
Well, there's condoms coming.
I'm a married woman.
Then you can never repay me.
And how did you know this was our honeymoon?
Oh, just tell me about your murder and get it over with. We make this quick meal and still have time to Xerox some resumes before morning.
Well, I was up in my room about to take a shower before dinner.
So you haven't eaten?
No, not yet. Those oysters sound delicious though.
And the murder took place in the bathroom?
No, the bedroom.
After your shower?
No, during.
So you were shot in the shower by someone in the bedroom?
What makes you think I was shot?
Because if it was a stabbing, you would have been in the same room as the killer.
What? You think he was in the shower with me?
No, I think you were shot.
But I wasn't shot. Look.
Got a close shave of some kind. Okay, since you were not harmed in any way...
Have you ever been waxed?
What makes you think you were murdered?
Oh, I wasn't murdered.
But you said you were.
I said I was the victim of a crime.
And the crime is murder.
Oh, well done, Mr. Piston. With your keen eye for detail, we'll have this case sewn up in no time.
If the crime is murder and you're the victim, why are you here?
Well, I had to report it, didn't I? He was my husband after all.
The killer!
No, the killeree.
The murder victim is your husband.
Yes, I found him in the bedroom, shot in the head, on the bed.
So you're the victim by marriage.
And this is supposed to be our honeymoon.
I see. And is this how you were dressed when you discovered the body?
Yes. I was just about to step into the shower, where I was nude, Mr. Piston. Can you imagine? And a blood-curdling scream. Naturally, I finished my shower, put on some makeup, and rushed out straight away to see what the matter was. And that's when I found dead on the bed with a slow
Were there any signs of forced entry?
Well, you've been dropping hints all weekend.
No came into the room.
Everything seemed perfectly normal. Except for that horrible dead guy lying there.
You mean your husband?
Yes, that was his name. Guy!
And you say he was horrible?
Oh, horrible. Brains everywhere.
All right, Mrs. Guy. Normally this is the point of the investigation when I would rush up to your hotel room and examine the body. But we're really short on time, so let's just cut to the proverbial chase.
Room service!
Bang! There's your killer.
What? How could you possibly know that?
Was your husband clinically insane?
No, not clinically.
That's how I know.
I don't understand.
And there's no time to explain! Oh no, there's about 4 minutes or so. Haha, allow me to explain. If there were no signs of forced entry, it could only mean that your husband let the killer into the room himself, which means that your husband must have known the killer personally, or expected someone shortly. A bellhop, for example.
But why would he be expecting a bellhop?
Because your husband was not clinically insane. And since no man in his right mind would ever be alone in a room with a woman in a towel without at least a bottle of champagne and a half order of oysters on the way, and your husband knew that you were about to enter the room, so we know that your husband must have ordered something from room service.
It makes perfect sense.
And as you just witnessed, the service in this hotel is incredibly prompt.
Yes, very. We also make sure and leave him a big tip.
So your husband's order must have arrived while you were still in the shower, yet you haven't eaten.
Because there was no food.
Exactly. And if there were no edibles in evidence, it can only mean that whoever brought the food removed it immediately after the murder to conceal the fact that the killer came from the kitchen.
It makes perfect sense.
Which means that your husband must have been murdered by the night shift bellhop, who gained access to your room under the pretense of delivering a romantic appetizer, which you never had the chance to enjoy. Because after murdering your husband in cold blood, and not wanting to leave any evidence that the killer was a member of the hotel staff, he removed the telltale oysters and champagne, something that only a member of the hotel staff do, leaving in their place the even more telltale absence of oysters and champagne, which confirms his guilt.
But why would this bellhop want to kill my husband?
Because unbeknownst to your dead husband, this bellhop was having an extramarital affair with his wife.
What? You're married, you Wednesday!
No, you. He was having an affair with you.
What? How could you possibly know that?
Because you still haven't asked me the one question that any widow in her right mind would want to know the answer to in this situation. Why would the bellhop want to kill your husband?
But I did ask.
You did? When?
Just then. Just a second ago. It was the first thing that popped into my head.
Oh. Right. Well, never mind.
You really haven't been paying attention to a word I've said, have you, Mr. Piston?
Oh, for God's sake, you're wearing a towel!
That's no reason to accuse me of being an adulteress, and worse yet, an accomplice to murder.
You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Accepted. It's a shame about the bellboy, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. My boss will have my proverbial head if she finds out I killed yet another innocent bystander. Do you think maybe we can agree that this was self-inflicted?
Oh, yes, of course, Mr. Piston. He looked suicidal the moment he walked in.
A likely story.
But it's your story.
Exactly. Well, what widow in her right mind would agree to conceal the murder of a man who had nothing to do with her husband's murder? Unless he, in fact, had everything to do with it. She was in on it.
But that means there's only two possibilities.
No, one. There is only one possibility.
I think you're forgetting one, Mr. Piston.
And what is that?
That the widow is not, in fact, in her right mind.
Embarrassing. For the both of us. And it seems that I was wrong yet again. And it looks like like my shift's almost over, so I guess you're free to go.
Oh, listen, you may not have solved my husband's murder, but knowing I'm innocent of all charges is a huge load off my mind. What little there is left of it.
Well, we've got oysters and champagne, and I'm off in 2 minutes.
Oh, Mr. Piston, I'm sure we can get you off before that.
Bah! Bah! Bah!
I wanted to. I didn't see that coming.
Neither did I!
You're alive? But that's impossible!
Well, actually, no, you're a terrible shot, Piston.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't worry. You were right about us, Piston. Until very recently, this lady and I were having a torrid affair. Behind her husband's back, and over his dead body. As I thought we were in love. But now I see she was just using me to get what she wanted.
A dead husband and an airtight alibi. But what makes you think that she was using you?
What woman in her right mind would leave her husband for another man, only to fall into the arms of a third man, a third-rate hotel detective, over the lifeless corpse of her dead lover, the second man? Unless she never truly loved him to begin with, and was only using him to get rid of her husband, the first man, who she also didn't love, and she probably didn't care much for the hotel detective either.
Hey, if you had waited just a minute there, she might have cared a little bit.
Forget it, Piston, she used us! We're all victims here.
Well, no, not me.
No? I suppose not. But if you have a minute, I think we can correct that little oversight.
Oh, look at the time.
It looks like your time is up!
Dick Piston, hotel detective! Well, why would you want to kill me? I mean, I've done nothing to you except try to shoot you a minute ago.
Well, I think you may be forgetting the possibility that I, too, might be out of my mind!
No. I took that into account when you murdered 2 people at your place of work.
What was that?
Your luck running out!
Well, it sounded so much more like an egg timer.
Case dismissed. It was a Saturday morning in the big city, and on Saturday morning, my proverbial work here is done. Literally.